done. That was weird. We actually tested the camera before we even came on here. So
Yeah, let me try changing it. Interesting. So if you guys can hear us, we're apparently having some technical difficulties. um, can anybody hear us? Hey Devin, if you can hear us. Oops, that go away. Lydia, can you hear us? Oh yes, Lydia can hear us. They just can't see us.
that's very strange because we tested it.
Oh,
That's weird. Hello.
there we go.
Hi.
That was very weird. I had to change it to a different camera. So hopefully everyone can see us now. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, it was not just blurry, but it was also frozen. We were moving and it wasn't working. So I gotcha. Switch back up. I have no idea. We literally were testing out
Like
things.
we tested it right before, and we were like,
And
"Oh, it's great."
yeah. So well, sorry about those that minor glitch.
Yes.
And
We
seeing
gotta love
our desk
technology.
for a moment there.
At least we got on pants. I'm just saying.
Yes. Yes. So we're glad to have you all here. So sorry about that minor delay, and also we're got a slightly new setup, so we wanted to make sure that our microphone was working properly too. So a little late, plus that. So, but we have a really good topic, and I'm hoping we can fit it in this 30 minutes.
We're gonna try. We have a lot to cover, so we will see if we can fit it all. If not, it might be a two-parter.
Yes.
We're gonna try our best though.
Absolutely. It's a lot of really good content, and I think a lot of it will be very relatable to everyone, and goes also hand in hand with one of the Healthy's posts earlier. There was a poll that asked for if you can magically improve one part of your journey, what would it change? And
there were quite a few people that said they would want to have no junk food cravings.
Yep, so, no cravings. And that's what tonight's topic's
yeah.
Talking about. So, Courtney, if you want to introduce that.
Yes, tonight we're talking about when cravings get the best of you. I know firsthand how cravings feel. You guys, I talk about all the time my sweet tooth, and I will just crave them sometimes. Like, I will look at Chris sometime and I'll just be like, get me some cake. Like, I know if anybody knows about cravings, it's me. So, tonight we're talking about when cravings get the best of you and how to handle it, why cravings happen, and that it's okay to have cravings.
Yes, and I believe everybody says they can hear us, but Regina mentioned not being able to hear us, so hopefully she can hear us now. Yes. If not, then she'll hopefully she can leave and rejoin. But we definitely want everyone to be able to hear our topic for tonight. But so cravings, it should be something that you shouldn't be ashamed of. Cravings are not a character flaw. They're biology and habits and just a lot of things. But have you ever just eaten healthy and been on track and done so well all day long, and then you annihilate a bag of chips
all the time,
or you eat a whole block of cheese, like I did a couple weeks ago? It happens, and it happens to the best of us. I would consider us seasoned veterans to this health journey, but it still happens to us too. So if you suffer from issues with cravings, you're not alone, and we're going to be talking about some things, why cravings happens, what cravings are, and some ways you can kind of minimize the effects of it.
Yes, because like Chris mentioned, I've had it before where I'm like, I'm doing great today, I'm doing amazing, and then nighttime comes, and like the other night we had what should have been a healthy snack. We had the wild chips and some dip, and we ended up eating like almost that whole bag because we didn't portion it out. And it was just because we both were craving, like we just wanted something to eat. We weren't even really that hungry. We just wanted something to eat.
Absolutely. And Jody mentions one thing that she would change is to not have any burpees or have them banned. Yes,
I do not like burpees.
I refuse.
Totally not off topic. It's with that, but in middle school in gym, if we forgot our gym clothes, we had to do 100 burpees.
100 burpees is a lot.
It was a
I feel
lot.
like even 10 is
It was a lot. Like
lot.
I tell you, I one time I literally faked sick to get out doing those burpees, and she made me do them the next day. So
So let's get into some of the topics of what cravings actually are. So kind of based off of science and also our experience, but there's a lot of reasons that there are cravings. One of the cravings could be due to blood sugar dips. Regardless of whether you have issues with diabetes, everyone has dips in sugar. Um, some of us, like Courtney and I, are insulin resistant, so that is a little more prevalent to us. But even those that don't have insulin resistance and don't have diabetes can suffer from blood sugar dips. So your blood sugar dips, and your body is needing kind of a quick fix for energy, and so it gives you some sort of craving, whether it's a craving for salty and savory, or the sweet treats that Courtney tends to like. Your body has a dip in blood sugar, and it's trying to find energy somewhere.
yes, and then another thing that some people don't realize, sleep deprivation can actually cause cravings. It can cause your hunger hormones to increase, which causes more cravings if you're sleep deprived.
Absolutely. So get your sleep. So
we talk about that all the time.
As much as you can.
Yeah.
With our schedule, we also have a young one who came into our room at 2:30 this morning.
She said, "Mommy, Daddy, is it morning? Does it look like it's morning?"
Nope.
No.
So there's life happens, so you might not always be able to get into it. But we've mentioned multiple times, we try to aim for at least 7 hours at minimum, but 8 to 9 hours sometimes is optimal. Making sure you get your sleep. But then there's also ultra processed foods. They have a tendency to be more addictive. Whether that's by design or not, I'm not here to debate that, but we do know, and we have experienced it, that ultra processed foods can be addicting. So that's chips, and candies and all those other types of things. And they can't be avoided. Personally, I love chips, and Courtney loves sweet treats. So we are a big proponents of not cutting anything out completely, but trying to minimize that. Having them less often can lead to less cravings, hopefully over time.
Yes, because it is true. Processed foods, I would love to be on a 100% whole foods diet. That's just not realistic for us. However, we will acknowledge the fact that when you have ultra processed foods, you're going to want more ultra processed foods. I've heard people say when they cut those out completely, they feel so much better. Like I said, it just would not work for us. But that's just something to know. If you're going to have those, you're probably going to have more cravings for those because they're just kind of designed that way.
Hey, Devin, that's exactly what Courtney craves, is the Reese's cups.
Yep. Devin loves Reese's cups. So do I.
And for some reason, those holiday Reese's,
oh my goodness, the hearts, the eggs, they're so much better.
The Christmas tree Reese's, for some reason, I think it might be the ratio of chocolate to peanut butter might be a little different.
Yogurt bowls, those are chef's kiss in my yogurt bowls.
So yes, good. Absolutely. And also the dopamine hit is also why we crave sometimes. It's kind of a reward loop, just similar as scrolling on media. You're craving kind of dopamine, and that in your body knows that you'll be happy when you have some of those treats that you like, and so your body just craves those items so it can get some of that dopamine if it's low on that.
Yes, because it's not always the item in particular that you're craving. Like you think you are, you're like, oh yeah, I want Reese's. But sometimes you're craving the energy, the relief, the comfort. That's where stress eating comes from too. If you're stressed, sometimes you crave the things that you love, like sweet treats or chips, because you're stress eating, because you want that comfort and that relief. You're not really craving the food itself, you're craving the relief. So sometimes it takes just being like, okay, am I craving this food, or am I craving the satisfaction, the feeling I get from this food?
Absolutely. So now we're going to go into types of cravings. There's really 3 primary types of cravings, and the first one is physical cravings. You might be hungry, and that could, when you're hungry,
legitimately hungry,
you do need to eat, but sometimes your body you end up wanting more than you really need. So hunger. So don't skip your meals. We've mentioned this multiple times, that your metabolism is kind of like a fire that you've got to stoke a little bit, and you can't let it go out. But if you skip your meals, you're going to be more likely to crave things and binge things. That is probably when any of our binging happens, is when we've deprived ourselves too much, or we've skipped meals or
or we
skipped
get
snacks.
or we get too hungry. And another reason, or another like physical craving can come from just lack of protein or fiber.
Mhm.
If you're not eating enough fiber or protein, you're not going to stay full long enough,
Mhm.
and you're gonna want things when your body doesn't really need it.
Mhm.
So making sure you're getting enough protein and fiber can really help combat those cravings.
Absolutely, it helps you be full faster, and it helps you stay full
Mhm.
longer. Because if you eat, something that is very high in calories and high in fat, but doesn't have protein or fiber, you're going to be hungry again really soon after that, and so you're going to have to eat more, and then you're just going to go way over your
Mhm.
macros and not be on plan. So make sure you have the protein and the fiber in your meals to help you stay on track.
Yes, and another kind of type of craving is emotional cravings, and we kind of talked about that for a little bit too. Stress, boredom, anxiety, just the way you feel sometimes makes you crave
Mhm.
certain things. I've mentioned when I'm stressed, I want to eat. If I have anxiety, I don't want to eat anything. If I'm stressed, they're two different things. If I'm stressed, I want to eat
Mhm.
everything. And usually he'll ask me like if I'm stressed what I want, and my answer is usually I want the bad things.
Mhm.
I want something unhealthy. And that's how I get when I'm stressed. So just emotional cravings are a real thing. And sometimes those are the hardest ones
Mhm.
to get rid of because you want something to fix those emotions.
Absolutely. And then the last type of craving that we're going to be talking about is environmental cravings. And we talked about this a bit before, smelling of food. So if you're in a mall and you go through the food court and you have all those competing smells, you've got the Asian food and the fried chicken, and you've got the sweets, and they're just overwhelming with your
Yes,
sense.
like talking about the mall, he knows. He knows. He knows what I'm about to say. Every time we go to a mall, it's an environmental thing. I crave a double doozy cookie from the Great American Cookie Company. If you do not know the Great American Cookie Company, a double doozy is 2 cookies with about this thick of delicious frosting inside of it. It's so good. Every time we walk in a mall, I crave it, and he usually gets it for me. But it's an environmental thing. I do not think about that. I mean, I'm thinking about it now, but I typically don't think about that double doozy cookie until I walk in a mall, and then I'm suddenly craving it, and I cannot get my mind off of it. It's an environmental thing.
Absolutely. And for a while there, a couple years ago, I was doing meal deliveries, kind of on the side, and I was always going in and out of restaurants, picking up food to deliver to people, and that was really difficult. I was doing that kind of at the beginning, early stages of our health journey, and it was a real struggle walking into all those restaurants and not um, getting something.
Yeah.
Also, that was also kind of productive to what we were trying to do, trying to make some extra money. But just all those scents really, really can get you. And then also watching ads. You're on TV and you're doing really good and you're not hungry, and then all of a sudden you see a Burger King ad, or a Five Guys, or
Yeah, I was about to say Five Guys. I saw a Five Guys ad today, and I just had burger yesterday, and I was like, I'm good. I saw a Five Guys ad today, and suddenly I'm like, oh, I want a burger. I want another burger.
Thankfully, we had burgers tonight.
We did.
We had turkey
They were
burgers.
Good. They were good.
And we made them in these wraps.
The real good food.
Real good foods wraps. So I get 10 grams of protein, and I had fiber, just right there, fiber and protein, delicious. But yes, the ads, watching other people eat, proximity to your pantry. So if you're hanging out in the kitchen, you're right next to those foods, you're more likely to get some sort of craving from that.
Yes, the other day I was just having a really, really hard like mental state, and I wanted to eat everything, and I knew I did. I knew like I didn't need to. And every night, almost every night, I make a flavored sparkling water. I did not that night because I knew if I walked downstairs to the kitchen, I was going to get something I didn't need. So sometimes you just kind of have to feel that out and be like, I'm not even going to go near my pantry because I know I do not really want this food. I'm craving it because I'm near it. So you just kind of have to think about those things. And then sometimes you need to ask yourself if your cravings follow a pattern, like for a certain time of day. I typically don't have cravings until nighttime when we're sitting down watching TV. That's typically when my cravings start. And sometimes or not sometimes, most nights I plan for some sort of late night snack because I know it's going to happen. I plan for it.
That's one of the tips we were talking about a little later too.
Yeah, I plan for it. So
so those are the different types of environmental trainings, but we want to talk about why people give in to their cravings. And one of the things is decision fatigue, willpower. The longer we go and stay on track, the more difficult it is, especially if we aren't giving ourselves even the little small amounts of cravings. So just over time, you just get tired. Like, I'm going to have this, even though I know I don't need it.
Yeah.
And there's also, we get this mentality, it's kind of an all or nothing thing. Oh, well, I've already messed up today, so might as well give in to my craving.
I'm real bad about that. Some days we're great, and some days we're just like, we've done awful today. Might as well just go get a crumble cookie and eat all of it. Like, why not?
We've been really good. Our keyword for the year is consistency, and we have done really good with our consistency. But there are still those moments where we don't give up the whole entire thing, but we slip up with a snack. Oh, well, I've already had this snack, might as well have one more. So we might have more than we should, but we don't really go completely off track. But that is a slippery slope that you can get into. And Jody on Instagram mentions that she finds recipes for healthy versions of fast food items so that she can have those. So we get into the burger craving. She wants the Five Guys. You can make a really healthy version of those Five Guys. You can get, tonight we have those really thick turkey burgers.
They taste good.
So much healthier than beef burgers, which we still have our beef burgers sometimes. But we had a really amazing burgers tonight.
I wasn't missing the real beef. It was good.
Exactly. So you can have those healthier versions, like Jody mentioned, and that gives you the vibe you're going for, the essence of the craving, without fully caving. You can give yourself parts of the craving to help kind of satisfy yourself, but without getting fully into the craving.
Yes, and another reason that some people cave is just restriction. You have rebound binging. You're binging because you're restricting yourself. So that's why it's very, very, very important to not restrict yourself. If you are craving something, either do like Jody and find a way to let yourself have it more healthy, or give yourself a little bit of it.
A small portion,
Yes, if you're craving that Reese's, I will sometimes just get we will keep Reese's in the freezer, and I don't get them. I usually have him get them, but sometimes I'm just like, hey Chris, can you get me a Reese's? One small, like 70-calorie Reese's, 70, 80 calories, and I'm good. I'm good to go. I don't need any more. So sometimes restricting makes the cravings worse.
Absolutely. And also dehydration
Yes.
is a lot of times mistaken for hunger. There are a lot of things that we can get hydration from when it comes to food. The fruits, watermelon has tons of water. But sometimes your body is thirsty. It needs that hydration, and it gives you the similar kind of feelings of the triggers. Oh, I'm hungry. Nope. Turns out you're probably thirsty. So that's a really big thing. And that's one of the things that I try to do is I try to have water before I have my meal or snack to make sure that I have that kind of thirst quenching thing, and then that helps me realize how hungry am I, and then helps me to not go over.
Yeah. And then we will try, is this the last?
There's quite a bit. So we've got that section, and then that section, and then that section.
So we'll just finish this right here.
Yeah, we might do these parts. So we're going to go into a little bit of the next step. This will probably be exactly a two-parter. So there are some preventative steps that you can use to help minimize your cravings, and we've already talked about quite a few of these actually. But eating enough protein and fiber, both of those items help get you full faster and keep you full longer.
Yes. I've noticed when I'm tracking, if I focus, sometimes I don't even focus on like the bites or calories. I'll focus on the protein. And if I'm focusing on the protein, everything else falls in line. But I have noticed if I'm focusing on the protein, I don't have as many cravings. But you can also find almost anything you're craving high protein. Today we had those burgers. We had the burgers, but then we also had those wraps instead of a bun. Now, you guys know we love our bread, but we had the wraps instead of the bun. The wraps had 10 grams of protein. Our dinner had 41 grams of protein. Like, it was insane. And I'm not craving things tonight like I normally do. Granted, I'm not sitting in bed watching TV, so who knows? But typically by now, I'm like thinking about like my nighttime snack. But I had 41 grams of protein at dinner, so I'm not really craving anything right now. Like, I'm good. So making sure you have enough protein. We talk protein all the time. It really is key.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with protein. we add cottage cheese to a lot of things. That adds protein. We do yogurt bowls, which yogurt has protein. We've also blended some cottage cheese and added that. So you can add protein to your sweet desserts. Kraft makes these they're big cheese snacks.
They're pretty big.
Yeah, it's a pretty substantial amount.
Like they're probably this big and this long.
Yeah, it's like a protein bar size. It's 150 calories and how many grams of protein?
17.
17 grams of protein, and it also melts. I've taken those.
It's cheese, by the way. I don't remember.
Yeah, Big Kraft. Well, maybe.
Cheese.
Yeah, Big Kraft cheese, big cheese. But I broken them in half and put them on one of those zero net carb tortillas, and then microwaved it to make a little quesadilla or a cheese roll up. And that right there has 17 grams of protein, which those wraps might have protein, but they also have like 15 grams of fiber. So for 160 calories, I can have a high protein, high fiber quesadilla snack that will keep me satisfied for quite some time. So fiber and protein helps a lot, but also don't skip meals. If you're hungry, eat so that you're not tempted to overeat and have craving. Hydrate. I say this as my mouth feels like cotton mouth, even though I take a sip of water like 20 times so far. Very, very important, but also sleep. Sleep is really, really huge to help reduce those hormones that cause cravings, which we have in our research, but I don't know how to pronounce them, so I don't want to butcher them. But sleeping will help reduce the hormones that can cause cravings.
Yes, and then Jody mentioned the Japanese cheesecakes that went viral. It's basically just cookies sitting in Greek yogurt. I love that. It's the Biscoff cookies, and I do vanilla Greek yogurt, y'all. That is so good. To me, it didn't taste like cheesecake. Like they said, it kind of gives it like the tangy cheesecake. But whatever it was good.
It still tastes really
so
good.
Find things like that if you are craving something sweet, you can just grab that and be like, okay, I'm good.
Absolutely. So find those high protein, high fiber snacks, whether it's savory, which is my preferred method, or sweet. Like her.
Because I'm just so sweet.
I'm already sweet enough, and I don't need anything else to help.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Totally. They believe me.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
If Joy was here, she would definitely be taking Courtney's side.
Yes, she would.
Absolutely. So that kind of wraps up. So there is quite a bit more.
Yeah. So this is going to have to be a two-part.
Yes. So we will do the rest of the strategies and tips and stuff that we wanted to talk about for cravings next week. So we'll go ahead and move on to the recipe for the week.
Because this is also a longer recipe than normal.
Yes. So it'll take a little bit longer to process. But this recipe will be posted on Healthy's Facebook and Instagram. But also, if you go to the Healthy app website, the blog, there'll also be all kinds of recipes, not just ours. So lots of other coaches contribute to the recipes. But if you see any of our recipes that you like, they'll also be there as well. So you don't have to take a screenshot of this. There'll be multiple different places for it to be posted. So I'll let Courtney introduce and talk about this delicious meal.
Yes, this is a creamy chicken parmesan. So for this, it makes 4 servings. You need 4 panko breaded chicken patties. Pretty much any of the already breaded chicken patties. Like we talked about the Real Good Food tortillas. They make some chicken patties. You can even get, like, we've just gotten like Aldi brand before. We got some Banquet brand. Pretty much any like already made chicken patty. That's already like breaded and stuff, like the pre-cooked frozen stuff in the frozen section. Or you can make your own. Do you, boo. Half a cup of fat-free cottage cheese or whatever cottage cheese you like. We tend to like the higher fat cottage cheese, but that's just us. Half a cup of plain fat-free Greek yogurt, 2 wedges of Laughing Cow cheese, 2.5 cups, which is a jar of pasta sauce, some garlic salt, some Italian seasoning, and a cup of shredded mozzarella fat-free. First, air fry or bake the chicken patties. They are so much better if they're air fried, but if you don't have an air fryer,
we love the crispiness.
You can bake it. Yes, and it will still get crispy. Just cook them as directed on the package. While the chicken is cooking, combine the cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, Laughing Cow wedges, and the seasonings. Once the chicken is cooked, remove. I'm gonna need to make this soon. Oh my goodness, I forgot how good this is. Once the chicken is cooked, remove from the oven and air fryer and set aside. Preheat the oven to 375 and spray a 9x13 baking dish. Pour a jar of pasta sauce into the dish. and place the chicken on top of that. Spread the cottage cheese mixture over the chicken and then top it with the mozzarella cheese. Bake for 20 minutes until cheese is nice and melty. And that's that. It's delicious. It's been a long time since I made this, but it was really good. This is between 7 and 10 bites, 336 calories, and 27 grams of protein. It could be more or less depending on what brand of chicken you use.
And you don't even have to use the breaded chicken. You can use just chicken breast, and that is absolutely delicious too. And that will definitely cut down on the carbs and some of the bites.
I was going to say that if you are like keto, and you do watch the carbs, you can totally just do this as a baked chicken, and it would still be delicious.
Yes, any kind of chicken, even not breaded, with the cheese and the tomato sauce, still gives you very much the Parmesan chicken vibes, but definitely cuts out a lot of the carbs. I'm gonna have
to make this very soon. Oh my goodness!
So quite delicious. If you have made something similar or you plan on making this, feel free to let us know, because we'd love when you all comment that you've made something from prior weeks.
It makes me so happy.
Yes, absolutely. And this, like we mentioned, is a higher protein meal. Will help with some of the cravings.
This is also something that's great if you're like craving like Italian or something. Like this would be something. Don't come at me, but you know what I mean. This will kind of help with that.
And also, if you're like us and have a smaller family, you can make the 4 servings, and then Courtney and I can have our servings, and then the other 2 servings can be leftovers for lunch tomorrow. Really great as leftovers.
You can even half it if you want to, or you can. The good thing about something like this is it would be easy to half or double, or for however many people you want, however many servings you want.
And you could do this, and instead of 4 servings, make it 8 servings, and then have some sort of volume amount of
you can
vegetables,
do spaghetti squash with the sauce and stuff,
or a ginormous, really delicious Caesar salad. Caesar salads are our absolute favorite. And you
now I'm craving one.
At Food City, they've got this really good fat-free Caesar salad where you can have the whole bag for like 200 calories. So get you a nice big salad, and then have half a portion of this, and that'll help you cut down the bites and cut down on the carbs. Lots and lots of ways you can customize this meal. But we thank you so much for joining us this week, and I hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day, whether you celebrated with a partner or you celebrated, your singleness.
His birthday was yesterday, by the way. His birthday was yesterday.
Thanks.
I forgot to tell you guys, his birthday was yesterday.
Everywhere we went with our daughter yesterday, it's my daddy's birthday. It's my daddy's birthday. It's my daddy's birthday.
Everywhere. She had to let everyone know.
So every story we went into, they knew it was my birthday. But it was a great birthday, thanks to Courtney and our daughter, Kathleen. But yes, we thank you so much for joining us this week. Hope you had a wonderful week, wonderful Valentine's Day. And I hope you have a wonderful week coming ahead. And we will see you next week with more talk
part 2
on these cravings and how to beat them. Thank you, Linda. You all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.